Hey there, good evening. Woohoo! Let me get Instagram fired up here. Let's see. Almost ready. There it is. Perfect. Alicia, good evening to you. How are you? Looks like Instagram's fired up. Very, very, very fun. Yeah, just checking in tonight. Nothing special planned. Jeff, good evening to you. As you know, Karen, good evening from Long Island. Jan is here. Hello. April, hello from Georgia. Woohoo. Let's see. April, I got you. Tara. Charlotte's here. Let's see. I missed one. Yeah, Tara's catching a live one. Karen says, hey, welcome home. Yep. It's, I've been home for like 2 hours. Not even. Maybe. I mean, I got home earlier in the day, and then we took off and had a bunch of running around to do because I've been gone all week. So, but it's good. Lori, good evening to you. Lisa, hello. Yeah, I missed you guys back. It was a good week. It was a busy week. We'll talk about it in a little bit. And it was an awesome week. But it's good to be back into. I haven't gotten into a routine yet, but it's good to be back into a routine. So, Marie, good evening. Let's see. Montreal's checking in from Helena, looks like. That's how I'm going to pronounce that. Montreal, good evening to you. Central Florida, 61 degrees. Rubbing it in. Christine, hello. Bedford, Ohio, Louise. Southwest Florida, Maryland, good evening. Charlotte from Arkansas, very, very cool. Welcome for sure. Christine in California, good evening to you over on Instagram. Let's see. Massachusetts is checking in from Liz. Good evening. Kim, hi. Elise from Wheaton, good evening to you. Yeah, missed you too. Susan, welcome back. Thank you. Good to see you. Jean out of Columbus, Ohio is here on Instagram. Good evening. Mindy from California. Nicole checking in from Canada. So yeah, we have Montreal and then Nicole somewhere else in Canada. Very cool. Always neat to see the Canada crowd chiming in, because what's cool about the Canadian crowd is, I'm on Connect, but I'm not on Connect in Canada. So that crowd is growing strictly, I guess, from Facebook, which is really, really cool. So thank you, Canada, for being here. Therese, yep, good to be back. It's funny, I almost, when I went on this trip, I wanted to bring the microphone with me, and I was like, you know what? I know my schedule when I travel. My schedule when I travel is just nuts, and it proved to be that, because what happens is everything I'm supposed to do during the week still needs to get done. Plus, I have all the stuff I'm doing while I'm traveling. Plus, I'm traveling with a group of people I haven't seen in a year, so we want to hang out a lot too. So I just don't have any time during the travel. So I said, well, we'll just put it on pause and come back to it. So. And Lisa brings up a good point. Lisa says, listening to your prior podcast, always learning something new. I think that's true too, right? I think a lot of times, if you do any sort of, events or public speaking and you go to listen to a speaker, you only retain about 60% of what they say or whatever the math. I'll have to dig out the stat, but it's a low stat. So I think you could easily go back. I even on my drive, I listened to the podcast a little bit, some of the earlier episodes, laughing at myself for a little bit. But then I heard things and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I said that. So going back and re-listening is always a good habit. Gene says, leaving a Wounded Warriors dinner. Pence's General Counsel from Indiana was there. Very cool. And you told him about the 12-5 meeting. Boom. Love it. I can't wait to go to DC. So Gene, when I was with this group of folks that I was with, I think I told them all about our 12-5 meeting, and a lot of them came back to me and said, I want to go with you. I want to go. So kind of fun. Mr. Wilson and me saying, hey, just a question. When you were on your weight loss journey, did you eat most of your weeklies? Great question. Let's dig into that first, because that's important. Your weeklies are there to be used. There's no question about that. But the thing that we need to know about your weeklies is most of this journey is habitual. And so I learned that this week was a phenomenal lesson for me in education. So I'll start off with this. When I arrived on the first day of this conference, I knew I drove up, so it was about a 5-hour drive. I left around noon, so I had breakfast at home, I had lunch at home, and then I hit the road. On the road, I stopped and had dinner, and then I pulled in, and I got in around 5:30, 6 o'clock or so. So at that point, I've already had the 3 meals that I had for the day. I would track them, I tracked them, knew what the point value was, and I walked into the meeting room, or the icebreaker, I guess they call it. I walked in, and there was just pizza galore everywhere. And I walked to the back, and I kind of reached for a slice of pizza, but I didn't really, because I knew better. But I was thinking, I wanted it solely because it was there, not because I was hungry, because I'd already eaten. And so if it goes back to your weeklies, if you're using your weeklies because a habit is driving you to eat, then that's probably not the best use of your weeklies. So what I did with my weeklies is when I was at a point, I stopped eating points. I used my weeklies if I was still hungry at that point. I didn't just go grab junk food strictly because I had 45 weeklies left over. So they're there to be used, they're there to be eaten, but I like to, when I dig into them, I like to make the best choice that I can and really be hungry versus eating them for the sake of eating them just because I had the points. So hope that answers your question. Susan checking in from Hawaii. Good evening to you. So Maria says, your daughter hears you and asks, who's that? And your grandkid Jelly, it's Fat Dag. That's funny. Yeah. There was a funny story. I was in a meeting this morning in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Mary Beth was there, and she said to me, same thing. Her husband's like, who the heck is Fat Dag? It's kind of fun. So, Bring Me Chicken says, what about the chicken? Yeah, chicken. I had chicken for dinner tonight. I had an Applebee's grilled chicken, 2 points, delicious. Dan, good job. 2 solid weeks, back on track, down, back to 4.2 down. Very, very nice. Yep. Yeah, Lisa, I had a great time in Tennessee. Like I said, I was there for work, so it was just convenient that on my way out of town, I wanted to hit a Weight Watchers meeting in the area because I know a lot of folks were interested. There was about, I say we had the meeting was full, but there was a dozen people or so, give or take, that strictly came to the meeting to hang out just because I posted on Connect, which was absolutely cool from the standpoint of, it's cool for me to be able to have that opportunity to say hi to people that I probably wouldn't have a chance to say hi to before, other than online. There was some other, popular folks on Connect who are there. Mary Beth, like I said, she's there. CTW Racing is her username. So she's an amazing gal, and I'm going to give a shout out to her. I don't know if she's on the Facebook feed. I don't think she is because she told me she didn't have any social media. But anyway, just amazing gal. Down a considerable amount. Go follow her on Connect. That's all I can tell. Tell you. CTW Racing. Amazing. So Katie says, hello, driving to Seattle for the Junior Olympics cross-country regional meet. Wish my son good focus. Good focus. You can do it. You put in all this hard work. If you're at a cross-country regional meet, it means that you're doing well. So just stay focused. Stay true to what you know, and just go get it. So let's see. Valerie's here. Good evening. Chicago. Denise is checking in. Jamie, Maine, and New Jersey looks like. Very fun. Yeah, Kaylin, it's been too long. But I was thinking about an hour ago. When I got home late today, I got home at 5 o'clock or so, I think, 5:36. We went right to dinner because my family hadn't eaten yet, so we went to dinner. Then we took my daughter to a football game, a high school football game, and then we got home around almost 8. And I'm sitting there like, do I want to do a show tonight? And I just honestly, I was like, when I do this, I want to do it from the heart. I don't want to do it because I feel like I have to. So I said no. I'd worked on some other things that I had to work on, and I said I wanted to come online and just say hi and catch up with you, but I don't have a specific show tonight. But what I want to know in comments, whether on Instagram or Facebook, I'm going to do a show tomorrow during the day. So Eastern time zone, tomorrow, what's the most popular choice for a show tomorrow? 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 11 p.m.? So let me know what you think, and we'll do a show tomorrow. I'll update fatdag.com, the event tab, with whatever time we pick, and I'll do episode 141 tomorrow after, midday tomorrow. So Danny said, how do you lose weight to get into the Air Force and lose the weight to train for the PJs? I really want to, but you have trouble losing weight. So PJ is a super tough career field. Congratulations on making that an option in your life. That's an incredible goal. Just to even declare that you want to do that is truly amazing. So how do you lose weight for that? It takes discipline. It takes focus. You have to want that more than anything else you want. Do you want pizza or do you want to be a PJ? Do you want chips or do you want to be a PJ? You have to ask yourself at every single meal that question. You have to get the answer right more often than you get it wrong. But if you want to be a PJ more than you want pizza, you'll be okay. And trust me, if you get accepted to be a PJ, you'll be in the best shape of your life. I promise you that. So congratulations on even making the declaration that that's what you want to do. Greenville, South Carolina, Tara's checking in. Milwaukee, Alicia, Jody, yeah, it's great to be back. Lisa, hi. Lisa hops in with the waving emoji. Lisa's very cool. Jamie checking in from Jersey, Utah, 34 degrees in Utah with Jennifer. Good evening to you. Laura checking in from New Jersey. Connecticut, Mary's checking in. Lee is here. Good evening. Donna's here. Winnipeg, Dan. Good evening. Yep, I said hi to you earlier, but cool. From Winnipeg. I didn't know you were from Winnipeg. Very cool. Akron, Ohio, Cheryl. Vancouver, Washington, Valerie. Chrissy comes in from OH. I'll let you guys finish the rest. Terry, good evening. I know. So I got a couple of people who emailed and messaged and texted me saying, miss me, hate that I'm not here. And I get all that, and so this is somewhat deliberate. Think about this is I don't want you relying on this tool for your journey. I want you to use the tool, but I want you to get to the point where you're making goal because you understand how to make goal, not because I teach you or told you how to make goal. It's kind of a slight distinction, but you need to have the strength to persevere no matter what tools you use, whether they're there or not, and that's all done up here. So you can do that. So over on Instagram, is it Tayer? Tayer78 says, I've been binge eating really bad for months now. I put on 10 pounds, put 10 pounds back on. I'm having a hard time stopping. Help. That is the number one, the reason we have to make sure that we develop good habits around eating. If you suppress a bad habit, that type of scenario isn't uncommon because you're suppressing a bad habit, and then as soon as something in your life doesn't go exactly as the routine was set up, you revert to a bad habit. What I want us to get to a point is that we get to the point where we develop healthy habits and our lifestyle becomes healthy, active, and we're eating right, so that when we get knocked off a routine and when we get back to normal, the normal is the healthy lifestyle versus the normal is the unhealthy lifestyle. So you have to be deliberate in developing a new healthy, normal, healthy lifestyle. And then if you deviate from it, the routine brings you back to the healthy side. Make sense? Let's see. So Lisa, don't know. Donna, I'm skipping Lisa's question. Donna, good evening to you. Newport News, Virginia. Let's see. Kim, welcome back. Yeah, I'm so glad. Your trip was really good. Yeah, did you see the video that CTW Racing put on? It was an awesome video. She at the end of she's like, "Hey, can we take a video and I can put it on Connect?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So we had fun. We had a real good time with it. If you haven't seen that, again, she's awesome. So Bring Me Chicken. It says, "Can beer and alcohol cause weight gain even if you stay in your points?" I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. I know I know yesterday I had 3 glasses of wine. I had a glass of wine with dinner, and then I got back to the hotel and I had 2 glasses of wine with a couple guys I was hanging out with. So, and I weighed in this morning, and I weighed in less than I did the day before, and I stayed in my points. So I don't know. I'm sure if all you did was drink alcohol and didn't eat any food, it would probably not be good, but then you'd be hungry. So just trust the plan. Don't overthink it. You know, it's just, you know, when you're out of points, stop eating points. When you have points, use your points. So, yeah. So when I'm in DC, Lee, that's gonna be a fun week too. So that'll be the week of December 5th. We're gonna plan on one day I'll find a meeting in DC, and I'll say that's where I'm gonna head, and I'm gonna go to at least one meeting while I'm in DC. So I'll put that on the calendar, fatdag.com, click on events, and you'll see that, and I'll figure out which meeting that's going to be. Let's see, scrolling through. Judy from Vero Beach. Charlotte, good job, 7.6 last week. Yeah, that's how, when you get the blue dots and you just follow the plan actually just works. It's amazing. So, very, very cool. Mary, hello. Let's see. Jody, let's see. Jody and Charlotte. Yep. Gotcha. Let's see. Kim says episode 140 was thebomb.com. You listened to it 3 times now. You love how the 2 emails and letters answered each other. Amazing. Yeah. So, Kim, depending on where you are, episode 90, 98, 99, and 100, somewhere in that time frame, the same thing happens. There are things that happen on this journey that remind me that I've been put here specifically to kind of work this. If that makes any sense, you know. So that's the same thing happened in episode 140. I'm just a facilitator here, you know, and so there's a bigger message that needs to be told, and that's coming through us to get it out. So go listen to 99 and 100. You'll hear the story of Megan and Brian. It's an amazing story. I'll recap it quickly if you haven't heard it, but Megan sends in an email asking and, you know, hoping that her dad would join, and she sends in the email a month or so before I get it to read on the air. She sends in the email. As the email is sitting in my inbox, she convinces her dad to join. Her dad joins Weight Watchers. I read her email on episode, I think it's 99. I read her email on 99. It just so happens that the very first show he ever listened to was that episode. Right, so he now hears me reading an email to him that his daughter wrote a month ago, and she had no idea. And then him and I end up chatting on Twitter that evening. And then the next day he sends me an email. So I read those back to back in episode 99 and 100. It's an amazing story. And so I don't know if Brian's here, and I haven't seen him pop in yet, but Brian and Megan pop in every once in a while, and they're both killing it and doing fantastic. So it's a fun journey for sure. Kim, good evening. Good to be back for sure. Let's see. Scrolling through. And good evening. I'm glad you're here as well, out in Colorado. Yeah, so Anne's saying, can I briefly review the 5 questions for the why again? So that's episode 140. I'm going to have to pull it up from, let me get on the computer because I have them written down. I know them, but I want to make sure I get it right. Let's see. Yeah. So basically here's what I was trying to, the point I was trying to get across in episode 140. You got to figure out what your why is. Why you're doing this is way more important than what tool strategy you use to get it done. The strategy is important, don't get me wrong. The tools you use are important. But if you know why you're doing it, then any tool will work, as long as that tool works for you in the sense where you can use that tool. So what I want you to do is I want you to develop why you're doing this. I tell you in the opening of every podcast, my weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. And what I mean by that is when I focused on how, I could lose weight. It was easy. I could lose 20, 30, 40 pounds fairly regularly, fairly consistently. But when I would get to 20, 30, 40 pounds down, I would become complacent. I would become satisfied. and the how would become boring. And so I would quit using that how. And if I didn't have another how to get to, I would quit going to the meeting. And then at some point I would regain all the weight back. So when I say my weight loss journey failed when I focused on how, what I mean is if the how didn't keep me excited, keep me engaged, and keep me motivated, and then I couldn't find a new how when that one became boring, I quit the program. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. And what I mean by that is when I finally figured out that the reason I'm doing this was because I wanted to get my health back. I wanted to save my career. I wanted to be able to pass a PT test no matter what. I was absolutely ashamed of being overweight in the military. I was sick and tired of being overweight in the military. It annoyed me that I couldn't wear a military uniform I couldn't buckle my belt. I started developing, I was on high blood pressure medicine. I hated taking that medicine every morning. So all of that factored into my why. And so, my weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. So the reason that's important is I want you to find your why. And I get a lot of people asking me, how do I find it? And the way you find it is you ask those 5 questions that I asked you. And the first one is what are you expecting to get out of this journey? What's your expectation? When you signed up, when you joined, when you committed to this, you had an expectation. You can't say, I want to be healthy. Because you've wanted to be healthy your whole life. There was never a point in your life you didn't want to be healthy. So you can't just simply say, I want to be healthy. You have to go a little deeper and say, what does that mean? What is my expectation? My expectation is I no longer want to lose any weight. I want to hop on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode. My expectation is I want to feel good about myself. I want to walk into the room and and put a smile on my face because I'm truly happy to be there. So you got to figure out what is your expectation when you joined. Then when you figure out what it is you want out of this journey, ask yourself a real simple question. Do you believe you can do this? Do you believe it? Hey, listen, initially I didn't. Initially, I told the room this morning I wanted to lose like 20 pounds. And so what was interesting is I did believe I could lose 20 pounds because I'd done it many times on Weight Watchers. I even believed I could lose 30 because I know I've done it before. So did I believe I could lose 30 pounds? Yes, 100%. No question that. So that's why I was able to lose 30 pounds quickly. As I got deeper into the journey, I saw other people going a little further than I thought I could go, and they convinced me that I could do it as well. And when I believed that I could get to a point where I no longer wanted to lose any more weight, I was able to get there. So do you believe you can do this? If you don't immediately respond with a yes, then you have to work really hard to stay focused on the how and develop your why, so that at some point when you finally believe yourself, that's what I call goal. I don't care what the scale says at that point. When you get to the point where you, without a doubt, believe you can do this, welcome to goal. Now we just wait for the scale to catch up. Because when you cement that in your head that I can do this, I know what I want to do, and I know I can do it, that's success. So that's the second question. Then I say, okay, now what's stopping you? What's in your way? And so that kind of factors into, do you believe you can do it? Because if you say, I believe I can do it, then there's nothing in your way. If you say, I'm not sure if I can do it, we got to work on that. And they'll say, well, what's stopping you? Well, what's stopping me is I like to go out with my friends. Well, think about it. I had this conversation over the week with some friends in Tennessee. And so, one of the guys said, hey, you did a great job. You have, great discipline, great job, blah, 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 blah. I'm not sure I could do it because it's a lot of work. And I said, it's no different than getting a college degree. Right? So think about it. So at some point when you were in college, if you went to college, I just didn't, but I understand that process. Let's even say high school. You have to graduate high school. At some point, if you're getting a degree in college, you had to make a decision to go hang out with friends tonight or stay home and study. It's no different in a weight loss journey. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to go out and be social with my friends, or do I want to stay home and focus on my weight loss journey? So what's in your way? If it's a social engagement, we got to figure out how to get around it. If it's self-sabotage, we got to figure out how to get around it. But you have to identify what the barriers are, what the pitfalls and the roadblocks are, so that you can kind of push past them. Then I go on question 4 or question 3. I think I'm on number 4. It says, I say, what's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life? When I ask that question, I'm what's the hardest thing you've ever done? And I've heard people give me answers that just frighten me. And someone said, burying my mom, burying my son. Yeah, that's incredibly hard. My heart breaks when I hear that because it's something I've not had to go through. Yeah, and so I don't understand that level of pain. But boy, do I understand how painful it can be. And so when I say what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your life, and you dig deep and you figure out what was the hardest thing you had to do, and then you take a second and go, but I made it through that. I'm out on the other side. I've now regrouped. I'm now starting over. I'm forming a new plan with my life. So the hardest thing in your world that you had to do, you were able to get through it. Would you rather go through that again, or open your app and track a donut, or scan a bag of chips or whatever? So this journey is not hard. It's difficult at times, but when you compare this to things that are truly hard in this world, this is not one of them. So I ask you that because I want you to break down that this is so hard. And the reason I want you to break that down is because when you admit to that, then what you're really admitting is, I don't believe I can do this. And so if you said, yeah, I believe I can do it, then you should also follow up with, and it's not going to be hard. It will be difficult at times. It will be challenging at times, but it's not hard compared to some of the things that you've gone through already in life and successfully made it through. And then last but not least, I say, who was responsible for your success? It's not the podcast. Whether you succeed or fail is not my responsibility. It's your responsibility. I'm here to help you. I'm here to walk with you. I'm here to walk with you to get you to the point where you believe you can do it. I'm here to walk with you to get you to the point where you understand why you're doing it. But I don't have the capability to do this for you. Boy, if I could, I would, right? Man, if I had the magic wand and said, boom, you're at goal, how fun would that be? I'd walk around, I'd make everybody, the whole world would be, at their normal, whatever weight they want to be at. But I can't do that for you. I can't want this for you more than you want it for you. So you're responsible for it. And once you know that you're responsible for it, then everything changes, because now when you walk into an icebreaker and there's a whole bunch of pizza after you've already had dinner, you say, it would be a little irresponsible for me to have another dinner tonight when I already had dinner and I'm not hungry. And that's my choice and my choice alone. No one in that room when I walked in would have cared if I picked up a slice of pizza. No one. I promise you that. And then they even offered me some, and I said no thanks. I'd already had dinner, so my responsibility to myself was to stay disciplined and true to the program. So those are the kind of the 5 questions I walked through to say help you figure out why. If you can take those 5 questions, and what I prefer you do is write a story to yourself that answers all 5 of them in a couple pages. You do it quietly, you do it by yourself, you do it at a point when you're all alone, because it should invoke an emotional reaction. And when you get it all written down, you fold it up and you save it. Every once in a while you pull it out and read it, because as you go through this journey, you forget some of that stuff. And you can never forget it. So, and great question. Thanks for that. A little bit of a tangent, but I think it was worth it. Chrissy from West Hartford, good evening to you. Yeah, Marie says, love the answer on the weeklies, so captures what you did today. Yeah, you're awesome. Awesome. Laura, hello. Charlotte's checking in. Angie, hello. Amy's here. Beth is in. I get to where Beth Ann says stamping in Oz. Are you in the Wonderful Wizard? Are you in the Wonderful? Did you follow Yellow Brick Road? I don't know where Oz is, so let me know. That's fun. Phyllis out of Burleson, Texas. Let's see. Let's see. Scrolling through. Jill, first time ever on Facebook Live. Good evening from Schaumburg, Illinois. So, Jill, you cut a unique episode. This is nothing more than just us hanging out tonight, answering whatever's on your mind. I'll kind of ramble until we get all the way through all the questions. So, tomorrow, one of the questions I asked earlier, and I'm looking for your responses, is tomorrow I'll do episode 141 live, and I'll do it tomorrow sometime during the day. My schedule tomorrow is relatively free. I'm going to get up and go to the gym in the morning. I've already got that scheduled. But when I come back from that, I have a good chunk of change tomorrow in the middle of the day that's kind of free that I'll work on episode 141. So just need to know what time works best for you. Elise, the Knoxville meeting was absolutely amazing. I don't want to get into too much detail because obviously what happens in that meeting room is private and sacred. But what I can tell you is I posted a thing on Connect saying I'm going to hit a meeting in Knoxville. The leader had no idea I was coming, and I didn't coordinate too much ahead of time. But the leader ended up finding out 2 days before, which was great. About a dozen people from Connect who were in the area end up coming to that meeting. So the meeting was a lot larger than normal. So that was kind of cool. And I had the opportunity to share, and we hung out, and I told them, I said, I don't want to monopolize the meeting, so I will sit quietly to the leader. I said, I'll sit quietly until you introduce me. And then I'll stay for as long as anyone wants to stay. So I ended up staying for, 30, 40 minutes or so after the meeting. I can't remember what the time was. And then I hit the road and drove to Indy. But it was absolutely amazing because what happens every time I meet new people that are on this journey is I have a total new appreciation for the amount of discipline and hard work that people are putting in and getting amazing success. And when you see people come in with a smile from ear to ear, I put it on Connect. There's a picture of 8 or 9 of us in a selfie. Look at the smiles on that group of people. They're not smiling because I'm there. They're smiling because they wanted to be in a photo. Think about that. For a long time, I wouldn't have taken the photo, and let alone many of us probably would never have gotten in it, but every single one of us wanted to be in that photo. And so it just caused an emotional smile that was just truly, truly amazing. So it's very, very fun. Deb, checking in from Michigan. Fort Wayne, Karen checking in. Good evening. Let's see. Judy, got you. Charlotte said you had steak, half baked potato, and squash tonight. I had steak last night. Let's see what else we got. Stacy says, I'm the general manager of Hardee's restaurant. I have a hard time sticking with it. Can you help me? Yes. Bring a lunch. Right? So it's a little bit of preparation, but there's very, the cool thing about being a general manager of a restaurant is you have a refrigerator. So, and you have a place to heat up food, I imagine. So, bring a lunch and I haven't looked at the Hardee's menu in a long time, but there's something you do. But I know years and years and years ago, as a high school kid, I worked at a Burger King, and didn't take me long to get really tired of the food. So and I'm sure Hardee's is way better, right? But the point being is if it's around you every day, so Hardee's is not an issue. If I were to go to Hardee's one day, it's not going to have any impact on my journey. And so I don't need to necessarily go crazy with a plan for how to deal with Hardee's. But if I'm there every single day, then I have to make a plan. And the plan can't be whatever happens, happens. The plan has to be pretty deliberate. So in your case, when you go there, that's work for you. You have to disassociate from the food side of it and say, I'm bringing a lunch, or I'm going to leave and go to lunch, or whatever options you have. I don't know if you have that as an option, but go somewhere else for lunch and or bring something with you. So, but you have to, because that's your normal environment, we have to find a plan inside your normal environment that's not the plan you're currently working. So, let's see. Jan is here. Tammy, 2 weeks straight for your tennis school. That's amazing. So that the importance to that, Tammy, is that you're developing good habits. When you develop good habits, that's what I talked about earlier in the show tonight, is when you develop good habits, there will come a time when something knocks you off of that routine. But if you have a good habit developed, when you get knocked off that routine, your body wants to go back to the routine. And so if the routine is a healthy habit, you're going to win. So that's why I wanted you to hit an attendance goal. So great job for that. Let's see. Judy from Iowa, good evening. Jill, hello. Jill's saying hi to Jan, sorry. Deidre, hi. Anne said I could go on tour. So Anne, I would love it, right? But think about this. And so 2 things. I only have options to go on maybe a Friday or a Saturday. And then it would get pretty expensive. So, and I would never say this, but because I was thinking that today, because when I put the thing I was on Tennessee, people said, hey, come to Miami, come to Ohio, come to Arizona, come to California. And in my head, I'm going, okay, plane ticket, $450 plus travel plus hotel. Okay, each one of these trips is going to cost me, $1,000 a trip. So maybe someday someone will figure out that makes sense, and they'll pay for it all for us, and we'll go visit. But it would be, more than anything, I would love to do it. How fun would it be to meet everybody and go out and say hi and actually talk to real people, like for real, and give them a great big hug and say, you look awesome and congratulations. But the reality is between the schedule and the logistical cost, we're going to have to stick to Facebook for a little while. So, but if I win the lottery, then maybe. Cindy from Tennessee. I was just in Tennessee. I love Tennessee, man. I was driving through the mountains. It was just absolutely gorgeous. Good time to just sit and reflect. Joanne, Syracuse, a week of vacation. You got this. Enjoy your vacation. Lori says, finished up week 4, day 2 of the Couch to 5K yesterday, doing a 5K tomorrow. Probably won't run all of it, and you've been tracking better this week. So, Lori, did you see my post the other day? The fact that you signed up for a 5K is a victory in itself. The fact that you get to the starting line of a 5K is the victory. Every step beyond the starting line is just a bonus. Whether you run the whole thing, whether you walk the whole thing, whether you walk 2 steps into it and quit, you dared to start. Amazing, and congratulations. Instagram, JM Smith says, my personal goal was to lose 30 pounds before my daughter comes home from Oregon for a visit. She'll be here in 11 days, and you're down 30.4 pounds. Haven't seen her since June. She's going to be shocked. Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. Now, here's the danger, and I say this from the heart. If you set a goal of losing 30 pounds for a specific date or a specific event, and that's great motivation to get you to that date. You need to figure out now what your next level of motivation is now before it just gets a little bit unraveled. Because you had a strong why, your why essentially just ended, and it will end when she arrives, and when she comes in and gives you a big hug, says, oh my God, Mom, you look so amazing, you're looking blah, blah, blah. When she says all that, you're going to be booming with pride, and then when she leaves, you're going to be like, okay, I did that. And it's at that point you need to dig really deep and go, what's chapter 2 look like? What does my next goal look like? What is my why beyond the one I just had? So just be prepared for that to happen, and if you're prepared for that, you can be amazingly successful. So I just need you to know that going into it. So congratulations. Good. Then if you already have another goal, then great. Perfect. then I'm preaching to the choir. Lisa is saying your Hardee's biscuits are so good, but so will being at goal. Yeah, I guarantee you. It's been a long time since I had a Hardee's biscuit. I guarantee you they're not as good as the feeling I felt today walking into a meeting with dozens of people who go, okay, if he did it, I can do it. So, Deidre, good evening to you. Yeah, he went to work today. Woo! Yeah, I didn't get in until 5. I drove all day, so if he got in at 9:15, that means he left the hotel this morning at like 4. Wow, crazy guy, crazy. So Deidre and her husband Aaron. Well, Aaron was with me all week, so he's a hard charger. If he was home by 9:15 on the East Coast, and then went right to work. So good on you, man. I did not do that. Daisy, hello. So it looks like 4 p.m. has got a couple votes. 4 p.m. All right. Let's see, a 10 a.m. Yeah. Jamie says, I've chosen to sit in the booth 3 times now, and you fit. Been a long time. Isn't that awesome? That's so awesome. There's a lot of votes for 4 p.m. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll do 4 p.m. tomorrow. I will update the calendar in a little bit. Becky from Illinois, good evening. There's a 10 a.m. and a 4 p.m. crowd. PJ is, Paula is asking what a PJ is from an earlier conversation. PJ is pararescue. It's special forces for the Air Force, or special operations, I should say. It's a very demanding curriculum. Yep. Yeah, Jill, so I agree with that. It's going to be whatever ends up working, but I think 4 p.m. is going to work. So for now, let's pencil in 4 p.m., and I'll keep the calendar updated so you know. Yeah. Yeah, Cheryl, new leader in the morning. Woohoo! Debbie's asking says, do you know about the new flex plan? I do not. No. It's just one of those things where we'll let you know when the program's ready to be released. That's the only thing I can tell you about that. And so, it's got to respect the company, obviously, board and stakeholders that we want to be true to. There's a release plan, there's a release schedule, so we will stick to that. There's a deliberate reason why. So, I'm not going to, unfortunately, I can't share enough. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You're going to like it. Hang on. Let's see. Let's scrolling through. Yep. So Deidre's asking if I started by going to actual meetings or start using the online program. So I did Weight Watchers 5 different times. I did it a lot of times. 5 specific times I started going into meetings, and but those 5, I was very successful in the meeting room. When I did it online, I could be successful for about a week or 2. I needed the accountability of a meeting room, and this particular go around, I absolutely went to the meeting every Tuesday morning at 9:00 in the morning for a year. So. Yep. So again, you guys, I'm just not going to answer any questions about the new plan. So, that will be released through a controlled release when it's ready to be released. So I apologize for not being able to give you that information, but, obviously I'm an employee of Weight Watchers, and so that's the release schedule. So it would be silly for me to offer up something that my employer does not want me to offer up, if that makes sense. So, it's going to be good. Don't stress over it, and so, there's a lot of folks who, I'm like, you're stressing about a new plan. Well, the current plan, that, there's some people that aren't even following the current plan that are stressed about the new plan. It goes back to, why are you doing this? And so if you know why you're doing it, the plan is just a tool to get you there. So continue to focus on why you're doing it, and the plan doesn't matter to that much detail. So, Marianne from New Jersey, good evening to you. Sarah says, you are my hero and helped me get to goal. First time ever, down 61.6 with 9 to go. Man, that's going to be awesome. I tell you, the last 9 to 10 to 15 pounds or so is the absolute best part. When you push beyond what you thought was possible, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it cements in a complete new life change. You're going to love it. Yes, episodes were very short in the beginning. When I first started the podcast, my intent was to do a 5-minute thing every day. Just come in, pop in for 5 minutes and get out. And as you saw, that doesn't happen. So, 4+ hours listening to you nonstop. Well, thank you for that. Stacy, Southern Maryland, Arkansas. See, Terry going to Disney World for tomorrow. Good focus. Terry, every time someone says Disney, there's a person on Connect, Sherry, SMF160 on Connect. She has a blog called mindfulsprinkles.com, and she's a Disney Weight Watcher expert. That's all I can tell you. So find her on Connect, find her blog. You're going to be fine. Maria's asking if I ever coming to New Jersey or New York. No, nothing scheduled. Nope. Nope, I don't have anything scheduled, but if I do, we'll let you know. Arkansas. So Laura's asking, that's a great, thanks for asking, Laura. So Laura's saying, saw the blog team post, what's all you up to? So basically, when I got to goal, I was posting in Connect that, I was trying to continue to help people and stay motivated and for my own accountability. So I developed a website. And the reason I did that was 100% because when I was posting on Connect, people didn't understand that I understood the journey because I'm not overweight. So people were thinking, 1, you're a guy, and 2, you're not overweight. So what could you possibly know about weight loss? So I developed a website because Connect didn't give me the resources to tell the backstory. So I developed fatdag.com strictly so that I could point people to my backstory to give me, to let you know that I understand what you're going through. I really do. So then, as the community continues to grow, fatdag.com has a great blog feature, and I wanted to develop regular content to keep people engaged and focused. And so I have a team of about 20 or so people that we interact pretty frequently. And they came to me and said, hey, we want to help you. What can we do to help, keep the podcast more regular? And I said, one of the things that's been bothering me is I don't have the time to update the blog the way I really wish I could. And they said, well, we'll help you. So I have completely turned over the blog to them. And there's about a dozen or so, I'm just guessing, folks who now have a regular schedule. They have regular content that they're going to start delivering, and then on a release schedule, they will write the content, they will edit the content, and they will publish it directly to the website. And it has, I said, nothing to do with me because it's on my website, but I'm not in that process for them. I want them to be able to find their own voice as well as they walk their journey. Many of them are super duper successful. And so it's just another way to just find another audience of people who want to stay connected, and then to have a team of folks who help me do it. So it all is, and I laugh at these guys and gals. I'm like, I can't pay you? I got no money. Nothing comes in, or very little, I should say, comes in. So I can't pay you to do blog. And I said, so I don't, and I feel bad asking. And they said, no, we want to do it. So I'm like, okay. So that's what that's all about. So Laura, thanks for asking about that. So if you go to fatdag.com, click on blog, you'll see that those posts. The first one went out today just to introduce the team, and then you'll start seeing regular content. If you want to submit content, it's one of those. I think we have a pretty good team in place. But every once in a while, we're going to do a guest feature. So if you're a writer and you want to participate in that, we'll find a way to work you in if you want to do that. Or on Instagram, PM Richards hit goal this week, 145 pounds, 32 lost in 14 weeks. Very, very, very cool. Feels great, doesn't it? I know it does. Yeah, Marie, episodes 99 and 100 is the one we were talking about earlier. Yep. So that shows you how far behind in the comments I am. So, Angie, so glad to be finally back to a live show. Yep, weigh in tomorrow, 0.8 away from 40 pounds. I saw that on the Facebook group, I think, right? Very, very fun. Well, go get it tomorrow. You got it. Lisa, I'm glad you're here as well. Let's see. Scrolling through. A lot of you guys talking back and forth, so I'm just scrolling through your comments. So, let's see. It says Stacy says I actually was fat dag in the meeting today. I finally believe in me and I have good focus, and I shared with another member not believing in herself yet. That has motivated me so much. Thanks, Fat Dag, for your podcast. It's saving lives. We're doing it together. We really are. That's what's fun about this. It's a team. Rockford, Illinois. Coletta, good evening to you. Idaho, Michaela. Oregon's flying home. Woo. LaDonna. Kansas City, Terry, good evening. San Antonio, Carolyn, that's cool. I was in San Antonio for a long time. I was actually up in Cibolo Shirts area. So, Annie, Raleigh's in the house. Yeah, Angie says, lost too much to turn back now. Yeah, so Elizabeth, let me just talk about, Elizabeth says, I believe I can do it, but you struggle with how difficult the commitment is. I think, and again, comes from the heart. I think the reason the commitment is difficult is because we want to have the same lifestyle, the same eating habits, and lose weight. The problem is the lifestyle and the eating habits didn't help us lose weight in the first place. So we have to completely change our life. And that is difficult. And maintain the commitment to do that. But you have to understand that if I like, I don't even know, if I like soda and potato chips for breakfast, which I did, if I really like soda and potato chips for breakfast, that's what put me overweight. That and some other stuff. So if I want to keep doing that, I have to accept what that gives me. Well, I was tired of what that gave me, so I had to find a way to completely change my life. That level of commitment to make that change was fueled by my why. So I hope that helps, Elizabeth. Deidre saying, what if you believe but medical issues sabotage the weight loss? Medical issues, and I'm not a doc, right? So take this with a grain of salt. Medical issues don't mean you need to, and I don't know, I know you, but I don't know your lifestyle and your habits, but let's reframe it to me. If I were to have developed some medical issues that I would think would prevent me from doing this, the medical issues don't mean I need to continue drinking Coke for breakfast and eating Doritos for breakfast, right? The medical issues don't mean that I need to have a whole pizza for dinner. You can still eat responsibly, you can still eat sensibly, you can still eat healthy, regardless of what your medical issues are. And if you develop a healthy eating pattern and you develop some extra activity based on whatever your medical conditions are, and you're living a healthy lifestyle, that will be more beneficial to you. And so it's not about, what I try and tell people, we're not trying to lose weight here. You don't have any ability to lose weight. You just don't. What you have the ability to do is change your eating habits, change your lifestyle, and get focused and plan a little bit and make deliberate actions in your food choices. If you do all that, your body will reward you by losing the weight it doesn't need. So regardless of what your medical issues are, you can eat healthy. And so if you have medical issues and now you're eating healthy, your body becomes a little more healthy, and then it helps you fight off the medical issues possibly. I've heard a lot of people who, who reverse their diabetes diagnosis, the people who've come off their blood pressure medicine. So because they're focusing on being healthy again. If your medical issues are more severe, again, then even more critical that you eat healthy. And so if you can't reverse your medical issues, but you're now as healthy as you can be because you've made the right choices in food and exercise, then that's a victory all in itself. Yeah, Angie said you told your leader that you were at goal in your mind and you're waiting for the scale to catch up, and she liked the idea. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how it is. I love it. I love it. A lot of good stuff. So Charlotte says, I lost 250 pounds before on Weight Watchers, didn't know how to do maintenance, so you gained most of it back. So congratulations on now understanding more than anybody. You know you can lose 250 pounds. You've done it before. Someone who's just starting out, who's never done it, they have to go through a whole belief and trust process. You don't have to go through that. You know you can do it because you have done it. Just do what you did last time, but this time, instead of suppressing some bad habits, completely change your life. Adopt those new habits as a new lifestyle, and you'll keep it off. Yeah, LaDonna wrote down her whys on a plane ride. Very good job. And you keep adding to it is exactly it. And we all do. I add to mine often too. Yeah, so a lot of you folks, so when I ask, what's the hardest thing you've ever done, it's a common answer, burying my mom, and thankfully I haven't done that, and my heart breaks for you because that's got to be incredibly painful, but you made it through, and obviously not a day goes by that you don't reflect back on that, but you made it. You picked up your life, and you at some point you went back to work, or you went back to whatever your new normal was. So now, taking control of this aspect of your life, you've proven you can do things that are very, very hard and make it through. So, yeah. So Jody asking, how do you stay focused in a social situation and not feel deprived? I did it all week this week, and we had donuts on snack break. We had, every night it's just how I stayed focused is deliberately. I put on this shirt specifically. I actually sent this T-shirt to the hotel laundry. Probably paid like $20 to have it cleaned because this particular shirt, I like it. It fits really, really good, and it just reminds me that I feel good. So I like the way it fits me. So in that social situation, I sent it to the cleaners at the hotel so I could wear it again while I was there to continue to remind myself that nothing will taste as good as putting on this T-shirt. You can walk around and hold your drink the whole time and never drink it, I guess. I heard that recently. There's a lot of things you can do, but it's all up to here is like, no, I don't want to. You can be social without food. You really can. So, I like it. Stacy says episode 140. She's now a new Stacy. I like it. Yeah. Lee is recovering from a traumatic brain injury and maintaining being hit by a car 8 times. Right. That's way easier than obviously that's way more difficult than tracking. So, scrolling through. Wow, Instagram is already telling me we've been here for an hour. So, Instagram folks, I will. This is Kansas. Got it. That makes sense now. Ding, ding, ding. Instagram, I'll refire Instagram in about 1:45. So just so you know, if when you get cut off from Instagram, I will refire Instagram back up. Let's see. So Aaron said, how does your mindset change from being in weight loss mode versus maintenance mode, maintaining mode? It really goes, you start those what we call the non-scale victories, recognizing the fact that I'm putting on a 31-inch pair of jeans, I'm putting on a medium t-shirt, and more so, my weight loss journey was developed and the success I had was because I made healthy habits that are now a good part of my lifestyle. So there wasn't a huge mindset shift at the moment that I made goal. The mind shift happened long before I made goal, and I carried that through goal and beyond. So, Houston, Texas. Good evening, Julie. Another Julie from Kansas. Good evening. Lee's saying he was in maintenance mode. He needs to lose 0 every week. So I get that mindset. So Maria saying you keep messing up. You've been losing and gaining 5 pounds, down 30, and you're messing up. No, you're not messing up. You're learning. It's a big difference. Let's take a time out here while Instagram resets. So Instagram, I'll be right back. Let's go get that. I don't know why Instagram cuts us off at an hour. All right, Instagram is back online, so we'll wait for those folks to get back in. So very cool. Welcome back, Instagram. Woohoo! So just don't think of it as messing up. You're learning along the way. This isn't easy. It's not hard, but it's difficult. Just stay with it. Let's see. Mary Lou from Temple, Texas. Willa from Ohio. Good evening. So Sue is a great example. Sue is down 62 pounds. All your numbers are in normal range. Your A1C is 5.3. As a diabetic, that's excellent. The doctor cut your meds to almost none. Just living healthy. That's all we're doing. That's all we're trying to do here. Lola from Hawaii. Good evening to you. Let's see. Scrolling through. Portland, Oregon. Checking in. Good evening. Thank you for being here. So Emily, I've said it a couple times now. Tonight's show is just we're just chatting. We're gonna do it tomorrow around 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll do another show. We'll do 141 tomorrow. Yeah, Annie says your promise to you is just showing up every day. That's all we can do. Marty, good evening. Michaela says I work at McDonald's as a side job to help for college and totally understand being tempted to eat their food. Bringing lunch was hard at first, right? But it becomes easier as time went on. You found healthier choices at my work to choose when I don't have time for lunch. I would imagine, you're right, working at Hardee's, working at McDonald's, bringing a lunch is probably weird. I tell you, though, when you do that a couple times, the weirdness goes away, and then when you start having the success that you deserve, you don't care about weird. I'm telling you, weird doesn't matter when you're at goal. It doesn't. Charlotte had an amazing visit with your Weight Watcher coach tonight. Love coaching, just another tool. Yeah, exactly. Great job finding the tools that work for you. Really, really good. Sticking to Facebook is... Well, yeah, so Jen, I could drive to... So we were talking about traveling to different meetings, right? Yeah, Chicago's only 3 hours. So 3 hours there, 3 hours back, an hour and a half there. So, yeah, just, 7 hours, 6 hours, it's just, whatever. I'm teasing with you. I would love to. There is just some logistical challenges. It's just not that easy. Let's see. Shannon, good evening. She's just been a long dry spell. Yep, I get it. Scrolling through. Tammy's doing a 5K on Thanksgiving morning. Very fun. Emily says, I'm nervous about Thanksgiving. Do you have any tips? I've only been on Weight Watchers since October 27th. Down 6 pounds. Super tracker and loving the system. But heading out of town this holiday, lots of temptations. Turkey is very low in points. So fill up on that. grab more of that than some of the other stuff. There's a couple things. It's the topic of a lot of meetings this week, obviously. Here's my take on Thanksgiving. I want you to plan. I want you to have a plan. I want you to go into Thanksgiving Day with a plan. But what I really want you to do is to have a plan for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Because regardless of how well you plan for Thursday, if it goes well, then you're in good shape. If for some reason Thursday doesn't go as planned, then you have to instantly on Friday morning get back to your new plan, because it's not Thanksgiving Friday at that point. So it's only one day. It's not even one day. It's one meal of one day. Do 365 times 3. What's that? Over 1,000. There's 1,000 meals this year that you're going to have somewhere. Why are we stressing about one of them? Let's focus on the other 1,000. I don't do math in public. Whatever the number is. Someone tell me what it is. 365 times 3, right? So whatever that is, it's more than one. So okay, let's throw in Halloween and let's throw in Christmas. Okay, so there's 3. So 3 meals a year combined to the other over 1,000 meals a year. That's not where the focus needs to be. Make a plan for that one meal. If it goes as planned, great. If it doesn't go as planned, the next meal it has to. So, good. Yeah, 1,093 meals. So there's 1,093 meals a year that we have to figure out. Now, you don't need to be perfect for 1,093 meals. You can't be. So let's figure out, of that 1,093, how many of them do we want to be in control over? Let's shoot for 80%. Heck, if we choose 60%, you're going to be successful, right? So, if you take 1,093 meals and 60% of them you do better than you did last year for those 1,093 meals, you're going to like the result at the end of the year. Now, where you climb up that number to 1,093, that will probably help dictate what level of success you have. But you're going to have success if you hit that 60% ratio. So, harping on it a little bit, but don't stress over 1 out of 1,093. It's not the issue. And then let me go back up. And then let me say this. There is nothing I can eat on Thanksgiving Day that's going to put 91 pounds on me overnight. Nothing. What happens is if I bring in some bad habits, if I bring in some bad habits and I reignite some bad habits and I'm not able to get those bad habits back under control, then it starts creeping up. But one meal will not put 91 pounds on me. So keep that in mind. And even for you, one meal is not going to put a full 6 pounds back. Now, especially if you go into it mindful and planning, you're going to be okay. So just reset on Friday morning, whatever it has to be. Yeah, Charlotte. Now I understand that it's going to be very emotional. So Charlotte says it's the first Thanksgiving without her mom. So, yeah, I can imagine how tough that's going to be, really. And so I'll be thinking of you and your entire family as you celebrate all that stuff. But that doesn't need to. You don't need to just completely give up on everything at that point. So focus on the important part of that meal, and the important part is you now getting together as a family and reconnecting. That's way more important than an apple pie, right? Really? And would you rather have apple pie or spend time with your family? And if you say both, well, okay, maybe, but really pick one. And so just you got it. Eastern time zone. I'm in Eastern time zone, so it'll be looks like it's gonna be 4 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, Jamie says it's a holiday, not a holiday week or a holiday month. I got it. Yeah, Sue does not need the seatbelt extender anymore. How cool is that? Yep, a lot of great input here. That's great. So, scrolling through. Mom's here. Hi, Mom. I don't know if Mom's still here because I'm way behind on comments because you guys are awesome. Laura, down 69.8 pounds, halfway to the goal weight zone. Wondering, is portion size 3-ounce chicken center? I'm trying to think what you're trying to say here. Also, when you're on maintenance, learning about eating healthy long term, not only when you're at last. Yeah. So, Laura, I mean, you lost 69.8 pounds. You're halfway to goal. You're clearly doing it. 3-ounce chicken breast, is a 3-ounce chicken breast. It's the same. You're going to be fine. You know how to do this. Don't overthink it. Yep. 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow is what the plan is. Charlotte, waiting for the government to answer those questions. Charlotte's asking how the trademark stuff is coming. Waiting, it's a long process, apparently. Amy, great question. Amy's asking, what made me decide to be a leader? I'll give you the truth, and then I'll give you the story, and then I'll give you the reality. So the reason that I first wanted to be a leader, selfishly, is I know me, right? So every time I failed on this journey is because I quit going to meetings and I quit having that accountability system. So my thought was, if I joined as a leader, that would force me to go to a meeting. And I wouldn't have the ability to not go to a meeting once I hit goal. So initially, that was kind of my mindset. Then in that process, I realized actually I do kind of want to give back as well, and I want other people to have the success that I had. So that played into it as well. Now that I'm a leader, there is the accountability of being a leader is not what I thought it was in that regard. I am way more interested in the people that are in my meeting room and their success, and watching them succeed is the accountability piece for me, not the fact that I'm in a meeting room. So, this is my favorite of all the things I do. It's my favorite because it's just, you truly can see, I can see people, I almost can see it in people's eyes if they're going to be successful or not. It's hard to describe, but you can tell. When someone walks in, you can tell if they're going to be there 2 or 3 weeks from now. And so that's the challenge for me is I kind of look in your eyes and go, how you doing? And so when I walk you up to you kind of do one of these, are you doing okay? I'm trying to get a feeling for, are you doing okay? Because I need to make sure you are going to be okay. So, Mexico, good evening to you. I'm glad to be your meeting in Mexico, Margaret. So Canada and Mexico and the United States tonight. So back to in three countries. That's very, very fun. So I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad you're watching on Facebook, and I'm sure you have the app. So I'm glad to be your meeting. We're in this together. So Lola's saying, I'm finishing up my second week and your husband's coming back from TDY tomorrow. I mean, he's been away for a while. How can you stay motivated and keep on track? Hopefully he will love the healthy food. You got to do it for you. Yep. You just got to let him know, you got to tell the world what you're looking for. You got to tell the universe what it is you need. And so you got to just let him know, hey, honey, here's what we're doing. You can join me if you want, but I'm doing this whether you want to or not. If you don't want to, then we got to figure something out. But I am doing this for me because I need to do this. Welcome home. And then the key is, for a lot of us when we do this journey is our family doesn't fully understand what we're doing, and they don't necessarily believe it. Because in my case, it took, I did it 4 or 5 other times. So you have to stay disciplined and focused to get to a point you've never been before, and that's when they start going, oh, you're serious. Got it. So just stay serious. Tanya says, hello from Maine. Just started listening a few days ago. So thankful to have found your podcast. Well, thank you. Been slacking. This is exactly the boost you needed. Started at 205, now 152.2, 20 or so to go. You like to listen while you prepare meals. So Tanya, I used to live in Maine for a long time, so very, very fun, very familiar with the area. So, thanks for tuning in, and congratulations on your 50 pounds, 52, 51, 52 pounds. So incredible. It didn't happen by accident. Did not happen by accident. Amy is asking, do I have any go-to meals? Yeah, I have a handful. I'm so have you ever heard the phrase we're creatures of habit? Right? So if you've heard it, then you know how true it is. So now, do you want to have good habits or bad habits? Because if we're creatures of habit, then that means we do the same thing over and over again. So yeah, I have some go-to meals. I hit Subway frequently. I hit Chick-fil-A frequently. I hit Jimmy John's frequently. I have grilled chicken frequently. I have a baked potato frequently with it. But I mix it all in. I have fruit and a protein bar pretty frequently. So, but what I have that's go-to is I have a healthy routine and habit. Let's scrolling through. Kim, you're welcome. Yep. Kim's asking about the blog. Hey, Susie's here. Woohoo! Still working. You work way too much. You work more than me, and I thought I worked more than 25 hours a day. So, hopefully you're still here, because that was a while ago when you commented. But I'll shoot you a message later, because I'm worried about you. I really am. Well, Elizabeth, we're talking about that proverbial soda in the morning, right? Yeah, it's tough to give it up, but you have to understand what it's doing to you. And I'm not against soda. I don't drink it anymore, but I'm not against it. But the reality is if you drink it every morning for breakfast, it's a bad habit potentially for you. Some people can control it, but I couldn't. But I didn't. I'd rather have a healthy life than that. So I know it's hard to give it up, but it's worth it. Yeah, Stacy, I want to be off my meds so bad, right? Yeah. Scrolling through. Yeah, Emily's asking, says, I'm new here. So hi, Emily. Welcome. It says, are whys why you are looking to lose weight? Yes. It's why did you join? So even right now, why did you log into an app or Facebook? Why are you watching a podcast of a guy named Fat Dag? Right? You're not doing it by accident. So unless maybe you are, I guess. Some people are only for like a minute. And then you realize they're like, okay, but something keeps you here. And so why are you interested in doing this? Why are you interested in learning? So that why will fuel your journey. Christine in California, good evening. Oh, you've been here all night, but you just now said California. I got it. Yeah, you can be very social without eating. It really is possible. So Mary Lou's asking, is it possible that as you lose weight, you're able to get off or cut back on doses of antidepressants? Probably too vague of a question because everyone's situation is different. Yeah, it is possible. So no, right. I can't tell you, I get a ton of email people who are taking off all kinds of medication. So, and medicine has a very vital place on the planet. I'm not knocking medicine, but there are some people who are very healthy who still need it. That's a whole different scenario, but not all of us do, and some people can reverse some of the medicine we're taking. So, yeah, Terry, what a hard life for sure, Terry. So again, my heart goes out to you. There, buried your husband at age of 31, 25 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I understand the pain for that. Let's get you to goal so that pain can be, it's never going to go away, but it can change. So Lisa says, love your book list on the website. Yeah, fatdag.com. I have a list of books that I've read that I love. Yep. So for sure. Oops. So scrolling through. Jody, good evening to you. Right. Vino says, I'm going to a wine tasting tomorrow. You'll have a snack before I go, right? And at the tasting, you'll taste each wine and not eat. Social situations are doable. No one really pays attention to what you're eating. That's true. They're so busy on themselves. Yeah. So, Lynn, good night. Good evening to you. Yeah, Julie, I prefer to drive. So when I was in San Antonio, I flew a lot. I flew about 700,000 miles in 4 years. So I was on the road. I was home a week, gone a week, home a week, gone a week, home a week, gone a week for like 3.5 years. It was crazy. So I prefer to drive just because it's therapeutic for me to sit behind the wheel and just drive. And that's the beautiful thing about living in Indianapolis is a lot of places are close. So, but on this trip, no, I didn't pack anything. I stopped. On this trip, it was a 5-hour drive. So I ate before I left and I had one meal on the road. It was actually Wendy's, believe it or not. And it was a junior bacon cheeseburger. Tracked it and moved on. Colleen from Connecticut, good evening. Yeah, Lee says drive to Santa Rosa. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to do that. Emily, yep. So tomorrow I'll do a show. I'll do episode 141 tomorrow. It'll be around 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll let you know exactly, but it'll be on the website. But that's the goal, is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. So Jeanette is saying that 365 times 3 is 1,095. So we have 1,095 meals that we have to worry about. Let's not focus on one of them. Karen says, my husband's a reservist and lifetime. He packs snacks and lunches for drill weekend. Yep. Any tips for what to take or when he's in the field, though? So Karen, I can't tell you, right? I take a protein bar and some fruit, but if I said take this and he doesn't like that, that doesn't help. So you just got to figure out what's working on your journey, and you'll figure it. Don't overthink it. Whatever he did to get to lifetime and goal, there's a list of things that can be in there. Yeah, Robin, so Robin says, no one's ever expressed it like this before. It's kind of funny how much we worry about that one meal. Not anymore. It's 1,095 out of 1,095. Add in maybe 2 because you're going to grandma's as well. Okay, 2 meals. Lee says Thanksgiving's on a Thursday this year. Yeah, thanks, Lee. Mom's still here. Woohoo! Mom, speaking of Thanksgiving, I think we're making plans this week to come visit you, I think is the plan. I'll text you after the show. Making family plans on the live show, sorry. Michelle says, why? Because I'm worth it. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Karen, good evening to you. Princeton, Texas. Debbie's here. Jan says, Hershey Kisses are your favorite. They're 2 points. And I'm not making fun of you. If you want Hershey's Kisses, they're 2 points. I had a grilled chicken breast tonight for 2 points. Man, it was delicious. And it was from Applebee's. We went to dinner. I had an Applebee's grilled chicken breast with a glass of water. Is a 2 points. So I don't do Hershey's Kisses because I'm not wasting 2 points when I could have a chicken breast, and the chicken breast will keep me full. So that's just how I work it. So yeah, I think it's 2 points for one Hershey's Kiss or something like that. I don't track them. I don't eat them, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah, but it's okay, But the thing is if you like them, then by all means you can't get rid of something completely that you're able to manage. The problem is for me is I can't have one. I have to have 100 of them. So I gotten rid of the candy because I understood the sugar, what sugar was doing, the addiction to sugar for me. So I kind of broke it pretty much for real. I don't do a whole lot of sugar anymore. And so candy is just not on my list. It's very rare for me to see me eating candy. Sure, it happens, I guess, but it's rare for me to do it unless I mix it into an ice cream or something. But that's a different conversation. But the point being is a chicken breast for 2 points. I mean, if I'm hungry, at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock, whatever time it is, and my options are a Hershey's Kiss for 2 points or a grilled chicken breast. I'd rather have the chicken. So, and the overthinking thing, I mean, it's we're all guilty of it. Society trains us to overthink. So, but we can win this battle. We really can. So, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I will update the website. It's looking like 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon is my goal to get episode 141 in. If I don't know what our schedule, our schedule's wide open, but if for some reason we're out, I will keep the website open and updated. But 4 o'clock tomorrow, I'll send it out through Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow Wise Advice on Twitter. Just before the show goes live, I send out a tweet through there, so you'll know exactly what's going on. That's probably the easiest way. Or fatdag.com, click on the calendar link or the events, and you'll know what's going on. So I agree, Lisa. Good to see you for sure. Lee, protein stays with you longer for sure. You guys are awesome. So have a great night. Thank you for being here. It's so good to be back home. Being on the road's tough, but what's going to be interesting is, so I weighed myself every day. Tomorrow morning, I can't wait to get back on the scale and see. You're going to see how I did on. I left Tuesday morning, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 5 days on the road. If you go to fatdag.com right now, on the front page, it tells you what my weight was when I left. I think it was 191.7. And you're going to see what 5 days on the road did. So tomorrow morning, as soon as I get up, first thing I'll do is hop on the scale. It'll go to Facebook. It'll go to Twitter. Let's see how I did, right? So I think I did well. I think I did good. We'll find out. Actually, let me back up. I know I did well. We'll see what the scale says. So have a great night. Thank you for being here. Episode 141 tomorrow. We'll get it done. Wish you guys all the best to focus. This takes way more than luck. You got to want this more than anything. So have a great night. Good night.